Hey Bernie, Tim Handren, your mayor here. Today is August 12th. Wanted to bring in the next Mayor's Minute, talk about our city council meeting that was last night. I'm going to save you 3 hours and tell you what we did last night in just a few minutes. So just want to make one observation. As I was driving in today, I came in through my first school zone that had the lights flashing, and I think that's the first time I've seen that since last March. When you're out there, be careful. School has started, and I wish all the folks going back to school good health and safe social distancing. Again, long meeting last night. Probably there's only two things that really came out of that most of you are going to be interested in that outside of all the normal housekeeping stuff that we did. One is we talked about the elections that are going to be coming up on November 3rd. There's two important things that are on that election. We had deferred our May election. We had one item that was going to be on the May election, and that's our District 3 seat. And that is moved to May. We do have two folks that are running for that, the incumbent and a challenger. So you'll have a chance to learn about those two folks and hopefully go out and vote on that. Remember, the election is on November 3rd, and it's an important election. This is going to be the national federal election too. We also voted last night, council voted last night, to add some changes to our city charter in the form of amendments to our city charter. Now, there are 13 of those that the council approved last night, and just by background, we had an independent group of citizens who came in and gave their recommendations on improvements to our city charter to get it up to speed. Our city charter has not been updated in a long time. Of those 13 amendments, 7 of those are really just to get into alignment with state laws that have been passed. Most of those came in last year with the legislation from the state. There's one regarding a residency requirement for council members that they must live in their district, and that was kind of clarifying some language that we had some challenges with a couple years ago. There's one item on there that says mayor is actually part of city council when it's talking about forming a quorum. There's one that talks about the timeliness in the election of the mayor pro tem. There's an item on there that talks about a prohibition from city council members or mayor cannot take employment with the city for 1 year after they leave office. There's a housekeeping item on there related to what goes before city council from the city manager. And then probably the most impactful thing is the commission that we chartered to look at our city charter recommended extending terms from 2 years to 3 years. There's a lot more education and information that we're going to be putting out. There's stuff on the city website right now that explains those changes. So when you vote, there'll be 13 items specifically that you have to vote for on November 3rd. We talked about water last night. There was an update on the conservation measures that, frankly, that were required when we went to stage 2. And we showed some charts that actually everyone responded very well to that. And we saw the water consumption come down. Remember, stage 2 says you can water 1 day a week, but you can't water on the weekends, is how it's worded. So just going to ask you guys to continue to abide by that. And we don't want to go to stage 3 as we have some hot days coming up ahead. If we go to stage 3 in Boerne, that means you'll only be able to water your yard once every other week, which means our yards are going to turn brown. But the idea is we need to conserve the water for us as people and not just to be out there watering our yards. Cow Creek is considering stage 3 right now, Cow Creek Groundwater Conservation District. When they go to stage 3, that's a signal to us that we may need to consider going to stage 3. So I would just encourage everybody, please observe stage 2 watering practices, which means water your yard 1 day a week and not on the weekends. All right, I thought I'd give you just a quick update on the COVID numbers for Kendall County. If you're following those numbers, I would just tell you I share in your frustration with the state in terms of how those numbers continue to move around. As you watch San Antonio, I know the mayor and the judge in Boerne County are also equally frustrated with the state. They are just flat out behind. And so while it's easy to be critical of the state, I just know that they're behind because the volume of cases they have to deal with. In Kendall County, as of last night, we have 6 active cases. They have changed the rules a couple weeks ago. Again, I know most of you know that. There are 39 that are still under investigation, 37 that are presumed positive that are still, whether they're under investigation or not. But all in all, we've had about 203 total confirmed cases in Kendall County. Now, there's a discrepancy in a little bit of our numbers. The state still reports 0 deaths in Kendall County. But Jeff Fink, our EOC operator, has seen the death certificates of 2 people and has confirmed on the death certificate that it said it's a result of COVID-19. Whether or not they had underlying conditions or not, COVID-19 was the cause for that. We're going to continue to monitor these numbers, but at the end of the day, here's where we are, folks. We just still have the same basic rules. I still wear my mask when I'm in public and I can't maintain social distance. I wash my hands and I just avoid large crowds. I'm pretty good about that. I would encourage you all to continue to do the same thing. Now, school's a little different situation. And the kids are going back to school. Again, those are choices made by parents, and the school, I think, has a good plan in place. But in the meantime, we just have to keep doing our best to prevent the spread. That's all it boils down to. The overall end game is that we have a vaccine that prevents the spread of this. That's what we're all looking forward to. That's not going to happen until the spring of next year, best case. So right now, it's no real end game that's magic. It's just don't overwhelm each other. Don't create a massive spread. That's what we're trying to do right now until there is a vaccine that's going to be it's going to be approved and widely accepted. So for now, that's all I have to tell you. As there are more updates, folks, I'll be bringing them to you. Stay safe and have a great week. Thanks.